Yo, what's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I want to go over 5 major changes that I want to see the Bulls make after the 2025 All-Star Weekend. Now, a lot of these would just be evaluating players, making some decisions if they should return, next season to this Bulls roster. But I got 5 things I'm going to be looking out for the second half of this Bulls season. But before we do so, I want to say thank you guys so much. We actually just crossed over 11,000 subscribers here on the channel. That's awesome news. So seriously, thank you guys so much. I know it's not a fun time to be a Bulls fan right now. Not the most interesting team in the NBA, but I just appreciate everybody who tunes into all these videos. Hit that thumbs up icon, comments their thoughts down below. I know we ask you guys to do it all the time, but it honestly is my favorite part of the day is when I go back, read all the comments, even those of you guys who like to get on me for being too negative as a Bulls fan. I still appreciate you guys, everyone who watches all of our videos. So if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Maybe we could hit 12K here shortly. So, all right, 5 things I want to see the Bulls do on the second half of the season. I think number 1, it's got to stem around the rookie, Matas Buzelis. And I just have jotted down, play Matas Buzelis 35-plus minutes per game. Now, I don't care if the situation is the Bulls are blowing somebody out or they're getting blown out. Like, let's just say it's, late or early in the fourth quarter, Bulls are up 20, Bulls are down 20. Let's just say Matas has only gotten like 28 minutes so far in the game. I still say you play him because in terms of him developing his own game, I think it is going to be so key on him just getting live game reps, because when you watch him and you see the eye test with him, he clearly has an NBA skill set. He's clearly already an elite NBA athlete, already a plus defender for an NBA wing, but offensively, he is still very, very raw. Like, you see some of these moves he makes, it's just going to come down to repetition. And yes, you can rep those out all the time in the summer during practice, but you will never get it's tough to get a simulated game type rep in practice or just in summer workouts. So how do you do that? You have Matas be the focal point of this offense, especially if these games are, 20-point blowouts. Why are you getting Nikola Vucevic low block touches? Have it be for Matas. Have him run some pick and rolls, or have him, be the secondary option on the weak side where he can just make a quick decision, rip and go, rip and pull up for a jump shot, or just jab and take a 3 in the dude's face. But I want to see him getting more involved, playing more minutes per game, because honestly, this guy, I'm sure he's looking at Billy Donovan and saying, dude, I would be the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year right now if you were playing me from the jump of this season. Like, enough with the Patrick Williams, Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, those guys getting more minutes per game at the wing spot over Matas Buzelis. Even a guy like Kevin Huerter, who started to get a lot of tick in his first 2 games as a Bull. Play Matas, play him 35-plus minutes a game, and it will pay dividends down the road. I'm not saying this is going to change life now as a Bulls fan, but if you want to see him reach that true all-star potential that I think all of us think he has, you got to play him and you got to get him the damn basketball. And so the second thing I'm going to be watching for, I put down, you got to evaluate Josh Giddey. And I feel like there is a sentiment in the Bulls front office where it's almost a guarantee that they are going to extend him this summer. I think that would be a mistake in terms of having that mindset. I haven't made up my decision on if I was running the Bulls, if I would extend Josh Giddey, who is supposed to be an unrestricted free agent this summer. But I don't want the Bulls front office to feel like, hey, we traded Alex Caruso for him. We need to extend this guy. I don't think that's the right process to have. You need to go evaluate him for the remainder 30 games this season and see if he can be a franchise point guard, because I still have question marks about it, especially in the modern day game, because I think we're almost shifting to a day and age in the NBA where if you are not an elite, all-time great offensive player like a Luka, like a Steph Curry, and you can't guard, it's tough for you to play. Josh Giddey can't guard anybody, which is extremely frustrating because he's 6'8", has a decent, long wingspan. He should be able to guard at a very high level. But I can just already see, the way the Bulls front office thinks is like, oh, we traded Caruso for him. Oh, we got to extend this guy. Because I'll tell you what, even though Kobe White played awful the last 2 games against the Pistons before the All-Star break, I still like the idea of Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu being your backcourt of the future with Lonzo Ball off the bench and having that be your guard rotation. But I know the Bulls front office, they're clearly massive fans of Josh Giddey, and I still have question marks. Yes, he has improved his three-point shot over the last 2 to 3 weeks. But can he be consistent at that 37 to 38% mark from downtown? Because we even saw Nikola Vucevic. I think all these guys in the NBA are streaky shooters. We saw Vuce at the beginning of the year. He was shooting 40+% from downtown. Then in the month of January, in 16 games, this guy was shooting 25% from three, so he was starting to regress back to the mean. So number 2, you got to evaluate Josh Giddey and figure out if he is truly the point guard of the future. Because just because you traded for him doesn't mean he has completely earned that spot. Because honestly, I haven't seen him develop a whole lot from what he was in Oklahoma City to here we're now at the Chicago Bulls. And yes, a lot of moving parts around him. He, obviously makes his teammates better just because he is still an above average playmaker with the basketball in his hands. But I just think the Bulls, in the back of their mind, they're like, oh, people are going to freak out if we don't extend Josh Giddey, considering we gave up fan favorite Alex Caruso for him. Just that thought process is wrong. Go evaluate him, see if he can truly be the point guard of the future, and then we go from there. But I'll toss this question your guys' way. Right now, if you're the Bulls GM, would you extend Josh Giddey? Give me a Y for yes, give me an N for no, down below in the comments section. Now, come up here in a second. I do think if the Bulls are going to keep Josh Giddey, you may have to make a decision on Kobe White versus Ayo Dosunmu. I'll tell you guys my thoughts on that here in a second. But before we do so, I want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys download the Prize Picks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today, plug in promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is Prize Picks? Well, it's the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less, at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Now, if you guys are trying to make a Blackhawks or a Bulls game way more interesting down the stretch of the season, creating a Prize Picks lineup is the number one way to do so. Even if the game's a blowout, you guys can follow that lineup throughout the entire contest. So trust me, download the app today. You guys won't regret it. And when you do, make sure you plug in that promo code CLNS. They will hook you guys up with $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today. Plug in promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, so number 3, and I'm not saying the Bulls have to do this, but I think they're going to make a decision on Kobe or Ayo Dosunmu. Now, like I was saying at the beginning of today's show, I was a big fan of these two being the backcourt of the future before they went out and got Josh Giddey. But it's a crowded backcourt already because Lonzo, Giddey at your 1, Kobe, Ayo at your 2 spot. It's like if you're comfortable with that being your 4-man guard rotation, cool, you can ride out with that. But I do think the Bulls will consider trading either Kobe or Ayo this summer. Both of them on very favorable contracts, making around $10 to $13 million per year. So a contending team, it will be easy for them to facilitate a trade and give the Bulls lots of draft capital, which clearly the Bulls want to start this rebuild and youth movement. But honestly, if the Bulls keep Giddey, I would want them to keep Ayo next to Giddey. Because there is no way in the world you are going to get close to contending for a championship or even contending to win a playoff series if you have Kobe and Ayo at your 1 and 2. They both can't guard. And we've seen Kobe now go through cold stretches where when he's out there and he's not hitting shots, he is a net negative out there on the basketball court. That's just how it is. That's his game. But when he's on, he is one of the more impactful guys offensively in the NBA. Where you have Ayo on the other hand, where even when his shot's not falling, you still feel his impact because of his point of attack defense, because of his play in transition. Still one of the most underrated athletes in the game, his ability to throw the ball up the court or him just take it and go on his own. So I think you got to make a decision between those two guys. And right now I would lean Ayo Dosunmu over Kobe White. But then again, it's going to come down to see what the Bulls do with Josh Giddey. But let's just say they let Josh Giddey walk, then I'm cool with them bringing both of them back because you could start Lonzo at the 1. You could have Kobe White at 2 or Ayo at the 2. Both of them have very good size. You had a very big backcourt, which I think the Bulls value is big guards. They want to have a big lineup out there on the court. But I think making a decision on those two is going to be key. And then number 4 for me, figure out the Patrick Williams situation. What is he for this Bulls team? Because you just paid him 5 years, $90 million. And he looks like he's worth about $1 million per year on an NBA contract. What are you going to do with him? Are you going to extend, or are you going to make him a focal point of this rebuild, or are you going to try to cut bait with him this offseason? Because what we've seen from him, and I kept making the excuse for him, like, oh, once you get rid of Levine, once you get rid of Vooch, you'll see his play increase just because he'll get more shots. His usage rate will go up, but we have yet to see that. And also, just the want defensively is not there. Like, why I love Matas Buzelis so much is because he's got the physical attributes to be a great defender, and he has the want to be a great defender. We do not see that with Patrick Williams whatsoever. So number 4, figure out what the hell you're going to do with Patrick Williams. Then number 5, I'm cool with the Bulls completely resetting this offseason. I think it's such a chicken shit take when fans are just like, oh, we need to fire our coach. We need to fire our GM. That's going to fix everything. In the Bulls situation, I think that maybe now it'll fix everything, but you just need new blood in the organization. Because clearly, Billy Donovan and the staff cannot develop young talent. And clearly, Arturis and Mark Eversley cannot evaluate talent at a high enough level for where this team is going to compete. They don't have self-awareness. They keep trying to triple and quadruple down on a wrong decision that they made 4 years ago by bringing in all these, B-level stars thinking it would work, and they are still committed. Like, the fact that Nikola Vucevic is still on this roster should be enough to completely move off this front office and this coaching staff. But I think you need to restart. I think they need to clear house. Don't want to do it midway or, here for the second half of the year, but I think it's just time to just cut bait with a lot of these guys. Like, get more guys who in this organization have new thoughts, new ideas, and get Chicago back up as one of the best basketball cities in the country. But I appreciate all of you guys watching today's show. See you next time. Go Bulls.